Right, we have two speakers then in objection. You have 3 minutes between you, and the applicants similarly have just 3 minutes. So please proceed.
I'm John Franks of PAX. We really don't understand why new paths are required to cross a public protected open space to the east of the building in this application, which has historically always been identified as part of St Matthew's Piece, including by the Council in their Eastern Gate SPD 2011. But the most concerning issue in this application is the new plant, which raises the height of the building, is easily visible from surrounding streets and the piece. The photos on which the conservation officer is making a judgment are clearly inadequate. Painting it black is a help, but we should feel it would have been imposed as part of the original application, and given the huge importance of this recreational green space to the residents of this extremely densely populated local area, we just don't feel this kind of creeping increase of impact is okay. What might not be significant elsewhere is significant here, given the importance of this piece.
Thank you. I'm Valerie Neal, I'm a local resident. I'm going to focus mainly on the paths. Now, this is a public open space that was established by this committee in 1998 to be protected. And Petersfield is particularly poorly served with public open space. It has roughly 1/10 or less per capita of what the city intends for public open space provision. So every blade of grass on this piece really matters to us. Now, contrary to the officer's recommendation, these paths obviously have an adverse impact on the value of the piece and on the conservation area. Now, the interesting question is, how did these paths come to be designated? Now, on the file uploaded for the 14th of September, there's correspondence between the planning officer and the applicant, where the planning officer raises his concerns. And he mentions the paths specifically and points them out as being significant. And he points out that they appear to be related to be temporary paths for a future application that has not yet been submitted. And what the applicant came back with immediately was, let's designate them as DDA compliant access paths. Okay? Now, that wasn't with anybody's advice or recommendation. It wasn't based on any requirement. Absolutely correct. It wasn't part of the plans. It was and these were plans that were approved as being compliant with the Equalities Act of 2010, which superseded the DDA Act, which the applicant appears not to realize. Now, these paths were not required. They were not requested by the access officer, Mark Taylor, who knows the site very well, and he asked for other alterations. Sorry, that's distracting. But they were suggested on the drop of a hat by the applicant. I've actually taken some consultation from a wheelchair user and from somebody who needs crutches to walk. Now, these paths, the 3 spurs to a main path right across the middle of public open space, go up a slope. Both the wheelchair user and a crutch user who I've spoken to, and I have quotes from them, say that this is completely unacceptable. So I'm asking officers to refuse these paths as an intrusion that is not warranted on public open space. And the officer himself, in the same correspondence, said that he found that the plants were intrusive and visible from the public realm, and he originally suggested that they needed screening. And it would be very, very welcome if the officer followed up with his own advice and provided the screening that we need to protect our local conservation area. There are also problems with two conditions.
No, I'm so sorry. We have to stick rigidly to the rules, otherwise we shall be charged with favoritism.